Why do I want to dye my hair black? First reason, I don't want to have to keep touching up my roots. I'm also genuinely tired of random men on the street complimenting the color of my hair just to try to talk to me. It even happened to me this morning when I was going to the pharmacy. Like, why? Why can't you just leave me alone with my pink hair? This is risky business. I've done this before. I've dyed my hair rose gold when I was going through some sort of crazy existential crisis and I wanted control in my life. 2018 was the hardest year I've ever been through. I mean, I was homeless for like 2 months. I lived at a friend's and then I lived with my boyfriend's family, and that was rough. I also pushed myself into getting into an apartment that I just could not afford, and I was really trying to make it work. And I did for like the first 3 months. Part your hair into 4 equal sections as shown and secure each section with a plastic clip, especially if your hair is long. 4 equal sections. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how we were gonna survive. I even took up an extra job that I hated so much. It was terrible. I pretty much had absolutely no control of my life, and at that moment I just decided that I would change things up a little bit, make myself feel a little bit better. So I went and I dyed my hair pink, and don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. I think it looks really nice on me right now. The only thing that I obviously would need to do is touch up my roots, but I kind of want change. And I know this is really dramatic. I know that I'm overthinking things. I know that I could just keep my hair and enjoy it for what it is and not let it dictate this grand thing in my life, but it is the way it is. Yeah, I want change. It's springtime. I could always just go back to pink if I want to. I just wanted to sit down and talk about my quarter life crisis, because that is something that I have just been thinking about for a while. You're afraid that you didn't make the right decisions. You're afraid that you aren't where you should be. You compare yourself to all of your peers. You start questioning your 9-to-5, or you perhaps start questioning your freelance job, which is where I'm at right now. If you are 25, 24, in your 30s and you're experiencing this moment of realization that you don't know what the frick you're doing, well, I gotta tell you, you're not alone. I'm in the same boat as you right now. I have no idea what I'm gonna do in the next 5 years. I think I wanna see the world and I wanna change things about myself. I wanna be a little bit more open, especially now living in New York where there's so much movement, there's so much work happening here. I realize that there's a lot more pressure on me now. That is that really the way to live life? Is it really okay to live your life engulfed by your work? I mean, I do this because I love it and I love talking to you guys. I love communicating with different people from around the world. It's something that I'm so blessed to have now, because I remember only dreaming about this right now and the ability to do this. But there are also moments in my life where I'm just like, what is my end goal? Where am I gonna be at the age of 30? Where am I gonna be when I have kids or when I decide to settle down? And do I want to settle down yet? I obviously don't. There's so many things that I want for myself, and there's this like little gap of time that I feel like I have. Everything is just not gonna be okay if it's not done now, and it's just this anxiety around being an established person and mixing my career with like my life. It's a little bit hard because I feel like the lines get blurred. I mean, my job is an everyday thing. I enjoy creating content. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy talking to you guys and communicating with you guys. It's a beautiful thing. But also, I want to be able to discover myself a little bit more. If I'm gonna do this as my job, I cannot allow it to not let me discover myself. And reverting back to my natural dark-haired state, maybe it'll help me a little bit in terms of just finding myself. I want to find the woman that I want to be. I don't want to be scared of time anymore. I don't want to be scared of a deadline in my life. I mean, at my age, my mom had 2 kids. She had her own apartment. She had a job. She was married to my dad, and she was out in the world doing, you know, her thing, and we all grow in different timelines. But there's just something about not feeling as grounded. Sometimes it scares me, and also the fact that I live in a room with roommates. Just the instability of it all is so scary. I don't remember where I'm going with this again. But you know what's the funny thing? I never knew where I was going with this. I kind of wanted to let it out there. And last night I was having this like freak out. I was doing a little bit of spring cleaning, moving around my furniture, something that I often do when I feel stressed out. And I was feeling good until the end of the day, when all of a sudden my mind just started shitting on me and I started to think about things that are just unreasonable. I started to wonder if I even knew where I was going with this, if I knew the message that I wanted to bring out into the world. And maybe those are things that I have to ask myself in order to grow. I started going on the interwebs, as I always do when I have questions about life that I have no answers to. I came across this concept of quarter life crisis, and I realized that I fell right into that category. I enjoy being a freelancer. I enjoy being my own boss in a way, but I also kind of go through moments where I ask myself if I made the right decision, because I got a degree. I'm technically able to get a fashion design job if I wanted to. I felt like there was just so much more that I wanted in my life outside of a 9-to-5 office job, and I did that. I made that risk, and here I am. I actually had a designer that I interned for tell me, Diana, I don't think that you are meant to be in this world. This is just not for you. My last bit of pink. It's been a long run, but it's time for some change. But deep down inside me, I realized that he was right. And it's not that I don't want to design ever, it's just that I didn't belong in the fashion industry. And that's why I'm doing YouTube, and I find happiness and joy in doing this because I'm able to connect with others, and that's the bigger picture of what I want. You know, I enjoy talking about fashion. It's something that I'm very passionate about. It's where I discovered my creativity. It's where I discovered that I have a passion for art outside of just clothing. I also really care about sustainability. It's something that I'm starting to really delve into, especially as a designer, and being educated on how clothing is being made and understanding the process of how clothing is made. But also as a consumer, I realized that there's so much more to fashion that I want to share with you guys. I guess in a way I kind of have discovered what I wanted to tell you guys in this video, and that is to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, why am I confused? What do I want in life? Where do I want to see myself? And how am I going to do that? How am I going to actually push myself to do those things? Because you can't sit down on the couch and expect everything to happen for you. It just doesn't work that way. I had a time in my life last year where I just laid in bed for a while and I just kind of looked at the ceiling and I didn't really have a purpose, and I lost so much of myself because of that. But now this year, I feel like I've been given a second opportunity at life, and I feel like I'm rebuilding something that I lost. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and hearing me ramble. I am about to dye my hair right now in a second, and I guess I'll show you guys the result of that. I hope that this talk with you guys can inspire self-discovery, and that you will do everything that it takes to find yourself again, no matter what age you have right now, whether you be a teenager, in your 20s, in your 30s. There is plenty of time to find yourself. See you in a little bit. I'm a natural brunette, as y'all know, but it's been a while since I've seen my hair this dark, especially, you know, actually going all the way to black. It is definitely very, very different than what I was used to for the past couple of months, and I miss my pink hair, but I'm digging this look. I know not everyone's really into my hair choices, but it's cool. I actually really also wanted to touch on a couple of things that I left out in the last part of my video, because I've been doing a lot of soul searching and questioning about things, and I feel like I've kind of gotten an answer to how to somewhat cure my quarter life crisis. I hope that it actually helps you guys out there too. Questioning yourself is a big part of life. It never really ends, and it's part of growing up, and it's part of being an adult, and nothing ever actually feels fully comfortable. And when it starts to, things change, and we should be open to moments of fear, because it means that we're growing an extra layer of skin. You're a teenager, and then you're an adult, and you have all these bills, and you have a career that you really want to work toward. But this morning, I randomly was just looking at my YouTube subscription feed, and I noticed that Matt Davila, I hope I'm saying his name right, he posted a video talking about, it's called The Disciplined Pursuit of Less, and I will link it for you guys down below because it was so helpful. But it basically touches on being overwhelmed, having a lot of work on our plates, not being able to say no, and just being surrounded by social media. Everyone talks about it. Everyone talks about social media and how it's so negative for us, but I do believe that there are some positives about it. Nowadays that we have so much access to information, it can be really easy to feel like we can do a million things at once, because when we're on our feeds on Instagram, all we see are people doing all these different things, and it can be a little bit overwhelming to see people, you know, working toward their goals, getting to where they need to be, and fill our minds with all this busy work that isn't actually work done by us. And it could also overwhelm us because we feel like we're not a part of this grand scheme that is somebody else's life. Another thing that the video talked about that is something that I've been even thinking about too is just, you know, prioritizing things that you actually care about, and everything else just kind of dissolves around you. All the noise that you have, it just kind of quiets down because you know the things that actually matter. If you have goals and projects that you want to take on, just know that if you are taking something on, it has to be important. And every time you add something to your list, it kind of just bumps something else out, because you don't have a limitless amount of time. You really just have only 24 hours in a day. I think that it's so important for us to do a lot of self-reflection and also know how we can get out of, you know, our quarter life crisis or just a crisis in life in general. Especially as creatives, I think that it's easy to get into a funk and allow things to kind of just, you know, worry us a little bit. And if any of you guys have your own stories or experiences, I would really love to see them in the comments down below. I always love chatting with you guys. It's something that I look forward to every time I upload. So if you have anything to say about your own experiences, what you're doing to get out of your funk, let's have a chat and open up this conversation that I don't think a lot of people are really talking about right now. Thank you so much for watching and spending this time with me. I love you all so much, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.